Hello and welcome back to Star Citizen. My name is Evenlease, and today on 10 Minutes More or Less Ship Review, right behind me, the Drake CUTLASS Black. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alright, welcome back to another review, and you know how it goes. If I'm reviewing a ship, a stat has changed. So I cannot wait to tell you what has changed with the Drake CUTLASS Black. Thank you Archangel and WinRAR42 for joining me today on the review. I do appreciate it. Flying these ships with a crew does make a big difference because sooner or later, multi-crew is going to be here, and it's going to be very important for ships with an interior of this size or bigger typically. So let's go ahead and take a look. The Drake CUTLASS Black is $110 if you're to buy it on the pledge store, or if you buy it in game, it's 2,116,800 aUEC. This is a multi-role, multi-function ship. It's able to do quite a bit out there in the verse. Honestly, for most people, this is a great ship to upgrade to when you're first just starting out into Star Citizen, just because of what it can really do for you. From combat, to bringing along a friend, to doing cargo, to bringing around ground vehicles, including the ROC, allowing you to go out and ground mine, which is just totally awesome. But there's just so much function and just capability with this ship that it's just such a nice pick when you are upgrading from your beginning ship to something a little bit bigger. Now you have a 9 minute and 59 second claim time, or if you were to expedite it, it is 3 minutes and 19 seconds. Definitely not terrible. You're able to get back out there into the combat pretty quick. And then the pilot does have a total burst damage per second of 2,106 due to the two size 3 Mantis GT220 ballistic Gatlings. And then you also have two size 3 CF337 Panthers. They're Panthers. They're laser repeaters. It's a great weapon. Honestly, if you're going to ask me of what I would get rid of there, just get rid of the Mantises and make them all Panthers. That would be a great outfit for this ship. And then the pilot also has 8 size 3 Arrestor 3 missiles and 8 size 2 Tempest 2 missiles. So a really good missile payload. Really good. You can absolutely upgrade that to a lot of rattlers on this thing and just make it a very mean ship to deal with. Or you can even go smaller than that and get a bunch of size 1 missiles on here and just make it disgusting. So definitely a lot of upgrade potential with this ship once you get it, changing around those weapons, changing around those missiles. And then you have of course, your turret seat, which is a manned turret, allowing you to have 2 more CF337 Panthers, outputting a total of 1,092 turret burst damage per second, which is really great. Gotta love that. Additional firepower, you're sitting at over 3,000 burst DPS if you have all these guns manned. Now this ship is technically a crew of 3, but you can normally run it with just 2 because the co-pilot seat really doesn't do anything other than, manage the power systems once in a while, or the tractor beam if you're out there doing cargo. Like you see on screen right now, the tractor beam is in a much better position, even though visually it was kind of glitching out. Didn't even look like the laser was hitting the box, but it was moving it around and putting it on the ship just fine. It was a great time. Gotta love that. That additional tractor beam there, it used to be at the very back of the ship, like outside, but it was a really bad angle and didn't really allow you to do too much. But with the new positioning, definitely allows you to grab the boxes and put them on your ship, which is awesome. Now, outside of that, you do have one size 2 civilian grade C shield generator outputting 4,130 bubble shield. It is quite a small shield generator. In this class, it's a very small amount of shield HP, so that's honestly too bad, and I wish that was a little bit more. Maybe if it had 2 size 2s, or I'd say 2 size 2s would be good. Then it would be in a little bit of a better spot, but we'll see. We'll see how the components and gold standard goes with this ship. That could easily change. Now, this ship does have 29,000 760 ship HP. So again, it seems to be around that amount for all ships in this class. So you're talking the Freelancer, you're talking the C1 Spirit, and some people would even compare it to the Zeus as well. The ship HP isn't too far off. I mean, the best one out of the pool is the C1 with, I think, of over 60,000. But if you're comparing it to the Freelancer, which is almost a direct competitor at the price point, this is a good amount of ship HP, but you have to be very wary, because your ship HP is spread into your engines, your wings, all over the place. So you don't have that much HP on your body or your face. So it's kind of fragile. If you get into a good back to forth fight, you're gonna lose probably sooner than your target, depending on what you're fighting, just because too many shots on certain parts of your body and you're done for, right? So if you lose an engine, you're probably gonna spin out, go ahead and death roll. And it's just a lot of, be careful situations with this ship. It's definitely not meant for player versus player, not as if you can't do that, but it's just going to be a really difficult time if you're facing anybody in any sort of fight or whatnot. So be very wary about what you come across. Now with that, you do have a top SCM speed of 217, the highest in its class, which is great. 465 forward boost, 230 backwards boost, with a top nav speed of 1,150. And then this is where this ship has had a massive stat change with 4.2.1. You can call it a nerf, you can call it a balance pass, you can call it whatever you want, but it is a big change to its maneuverability, sitting at 39, 35, 110 pitch yaw roll, or a boosted 47, 42, 132. Even boosted, it's not nearly as good as it was prior to 4.2.1. So that's where this thing is going to be put in its place for now, to really help it not compete with, bigger, heavier fighters like the F8 and stuff like that. It is now going to be a ship that really needs to find its role somewhere away from fighting as much, because you can do PVE bounties and stuff with this, but keep it away from PvP unless you're a very skilled pilot and you have a very skilled gunner. That's just a suggestion with the new maneuverability. Obviously, fly your ship how you want to, but that maneuverability kill is just insane, and it's definitely weighty. You can feel it. I'm going to show you some PvP, or not PvP. Oh, yeah, right. I'm going to show you some PvE after this here in just a second, just to kind of show you. Otherwise, you have 48 flares and 5 noise on this ship, so same amount of decoys and flares and everything as you would with any other ship in the class. And then you have 36 SCU of hydrogen fuel and 1.8 SCU of quantum fuel. At least it's not 1.3 SCU, but I do wish it was still a little bit more. Any ship that delivers cargo at this amount or has an interior with beds and stuff, I always wish it was closer to 2 to 3 SCU of quantum, just because it would make a little bit of sense, but it's not a long range hauler, right? It's not supposed to be going from one system to another without refueling. So I guess it's in its place for a reason like that. Now let's go ahead and take a look at this ship. On the backside here is where you're going to enter the ship. There is technically 3 access points. You have the rear ramp and then the 2 side doors. The 2 side doors, sometimes you can, vault up there. Sometimes you can't. It just depends on how the servers or the game's acting for you. But typically you would enter the ship from the rear, right here at the back. Once you get into this ship, you do have quite a few things to look at. No gold or component standard pass, but you do have 6 jump seats right here at the entry point, which you can go ahead and open and sit down. There are 6 of them, 3 here and 3 over here. Maybe you'll have some components here someday and these seats might disappear just because this ship doesn't have much room for components, but it will need it sooner or later. You have your access panel here for your back door. You can open and close. And then of course on the interior, you can go ahead and store a lot of your items here. So cargo, like I said, 46 SCU of cargo on this grid, or you can bring vehicles in here, including this beautiful new UEE Army Pulse, which looks fantastic. And then you have operational door panels for your side doors here, and of course on the other side. Now you do have a fuse relay over here and a fire extinguisher. So again, engineering is coming. Get ready for that. It is going to be quite the show seeing these ships have engineering. This is a door panel for this door. And then once you walk into here, this is kind of like the living area for the crew. So to the right, you got 2 beds, you got your engineering terminal, you got 4 weapons lockers, and you got a relay station. It's kind of like they just haphazardly put it all on one wall and then said, that's good. So when we get the components in gold standard, this will definitely change a bit. I'm sure it will. And then over here, you got your manned turret and a fire extinguisher. This manned turret, if you're asking me, I know everybody hates when I say this, but take this manned turret out, make it a remote turret. And I say this because then you can put a bathroom here. This ship needs a bathroom. I know it's Drake, but every other Drake ship pretty much has a bathroom. Put a bathroom here and make that remote. Then you're going to give the co-pilot something to actually do, and your crew kind of goes down to 2 instead of 3, which would be really nice. And then you have 2 storage lockers over here. 1, 2. Go ahead and open that up, and you can store whatever you'd like. It's pretty cool. I do like that. 2 storage lockers, 4 weapons racks, 2 beds, 3 crew. 1, 2, 3. So someone's going to be hot bunking, and they're also not going to be able to store their stuff. Honestly, too bad. But that is just sometimes what happens. And then you have another relay station right here. So it is on the way, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how these work. And then we have our pilot seat right over here and our co-pilot seat. So co-pilot doesn't really do anything other than operate the ship systems like shields, shield, power to your engines, quantum drive, stuff like that. You can maneuver that stuff, or of course, tractor beam in the back. So you'll need that. And then your pilot seat, and you're thinking, whoa, what an ugly view. No, if you've never sat in this ship, all you gotta do is sit down. It will raise you up into a much better viewpoint, even though you do have some really big A-pillars here, some really big struts in your visibility. And then all around, you can see it's definitely not bad. So we'll go ahead and turn on the engines, lift off really quick, and give you a little bit of a show here. Not much of one, but you also have VTOL thrusters. So when you're ready, go ahead and hit K, and that will go ahead and raise those thrusters so you can go ahead and boost out. Now, of course, like I said, ship speed, it's okay, definitely not bad. It is the highest in its class, and its maneuverability did get hit pretty hard, so you have to keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, let's go ahead and take a quick look at that combat footage, and I'll give you my score. All right, as you can see, no problem having combat against AI targets, especially since we're at the kind of lower level targets. Fought a couple Hornets there and everything, but overall, I mean, it's still kind of a fun ship to fly. The maneuverability hit is really noticeable. So if you liked the prior maneuverability of the Drake Cutlass Black, you won't like it now. You definitely won't. It flies how it flies like the Constellation used to before its nerf in the patch now. So, well, I hate using the word nerf. It's more of just a balance pass until we get to 1.1. 1.0. Why am I already talking about 1.1? Don't question me on that. Overall, this ship for me is an 83 out of 100 because it's still a great ship. It's a great pick for a starter. I mean, this thing is fantastic. If you're new to the game, or even if you're used to the game for quite a while, this is still a great ship to have. Its maneuverability hit is pretty rough, but overall has great firepower, great amount of missiles, terrible shield. HP strength is okay, but it's spread around the body a lot. So a little bit of a drop there in points, but not, you know, too terrible, right? So otherwise, it's a fun ship to have. It's a great ship to fly. Let me know what you think of the Drake Cutlass Black down in the comments below, and what you think of its massive maneuverability balance pass. And thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. You all are truly amazing. That giveaway I have going on right now for that Intrepid ends in a few days on the 18th. Make sure you enter. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.